Hi everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. This is the wrap-up video for my paper tray series. I am going over briefly here and showing you what I have left over the pieces after creating, I believe now, what is 6 videos that I have posted on my channel in regards to this. This is what I have left over after creating those 6 bits. And I am going to go into the future here very shortly and show you I did create 4 more projects, but I did have some bits and pieces. I used every scrap, every bit of it. I had a couple strips of paper, a half sheet, some corners, a few stickers with the florals there and the layered hearts. Those little pieces I did keep because I do end up fussy cutting those and using them on a mini album. And then these also, and loads of ephemera still. Like, even after I loaded up my projects with ephemera, I feel like I had loads of it left over. But when I was laying this all out, I was getting even more ideas for more projects, and that transpired into 4 more, 2 layouts, a mini, and an insert for my album. So this is just a quick flick through of what I do have left, and then I am going to fast forward, put you on to future me, and I'm going to kick over to a quote-unquote live piece and walk you through what I made and what I have, what I had actually finished not using, which was just 4 bits and pieces. So stay tuned. We're going to hop here in a second into the future, and I'll show you how this all came together to create 4 more projects, and then we'll do a complete wrap up, and I'll show you everything that I have made with this Willemstad kit from Click International. I will link the link to this kit down below, and I also put up at the eye the whole series for you if you would like to take a look at the kit. If it's available, it'll be available at that link, or if you want to watch the whole entire series on how my brain tends to overwork and how I simplify things, you can follow that up at the eye. The beginning piece of this video, I went over and explained briefly about the pieces that I had left of the Willemstad base kit. I thought when I was going through it that there wasn't a whole lot left, and as I was flipping through it and showing you guys everything, it kind of clicked that there was really a lot of products that I still had left over after creating all of the layouts that you've seen so far in the series. So off camera, I went through all of those pieces that I showed and put back into that tray, and I ended up creating 4 more projects. So I have all 4 of those projects completed here. I do not have a video of them. I wanted to just do them as the inspiration came to me, but I decided that I will show them to you, and I'll show you everything that I did with the whole entire kit as well. So when I was going through the pieces, I saw this triangle pattern paper and thought that I would do a piece just based off of this triangle. I did pull pieces like the summer vibes. These couple bits here were from my stash, but it helped me use up this half a sheet of paper that I had, and then I added in a couple bits of ephemera that was left over too. The sunshine is from my stash also, along with the enamel dots, and then helped to tie everything together. I did add in a lot of splatters in the background, and I really like this. I would have never really thought about doing that, but I like how the triangles, cutting the triangles into triangles, really turned out. And I did have this sunshine. This was a piece that said hello sunshine, but I used the hello on another layout, so I added it here and then layered that black tag behind it. This one might be my favorite layout from the whole entire series altogether. I have a lot of favorites in this one, but I think this one was just this one was just so fun. And it was using all of these bits of scraps of paper that came together, and I mean, they were already cut. Some of it was already distressed, and I just embraced it, kept them in strips, basically layered them from small to wide to small, stitched them down. I did the background here the same way that I had done on this one. I just did splatters. I did not gesso anything. So there was no drying time with that. I had this wonderful that was one of the words on Pages paper that I had left over fussy cut, so I used that for the title. And this was again about a trip to an amusement park where I added my journaling here. So these pieces I just felt were just so retro and went with the whole carousel theme that these photos came from. And then this is kind of part of the title where it says get out and try new things, which is exactly what we have all done this year. On this bike I did edit it a bit. These balloons were attached to this, but I trimmed it, made it work for me, but added the balloons up there so that that wasn't a wasted piece and that it was still used. But yes, I love this one. I absolutely love how this turned out. The enamel dots on this, I had used up, I think, the bulk of what was left over of my enamel dots from my stash and just randomly stuck them everywhere and used them all up. I like how these little arrows are too. I don't see too many of those enamel arrows anymore, but those are cute. And then also a couple of the hearts on the skate and rainbow. So those are the only two layouts that I completed with what was left. And then I had two other pieces. I created a mini album, which I'll flip through. And then there was some of these larger distressed envelopes in the kit. This was the largest one, and then there's another one back behind here. It was smaller. This I used with the pieces that I had left over from the Vicki Booten Sweet Rush collection and added those in to document a story of my son and the dog. We were at the lake on the 4th of July and they were swimming together, so I used up all of what was left there, grabbed these pieces from my stash, even this, added some twine. And what I'm going to do is this makes these envelopes are really heavy cardstock, and I have a die that I just picked up from Ellie Studio. Let me see if I have it right here real quick to show you. They came out with this new die set last month. Here it is. It's called the Attacher Metal die. I'm going to use this. I'm not sure how yet, or not how, but which one. And I'm going to use that to add here, and this is going to go in my Life Crafted album. So this is sturdy enough that it can act as its own page in my Life Crafted album. So if you have pieces that are left over like this that are super heavy duty cardstock, even some of the pattern papers, if you double them up, you can easily add this as a single page into Life Crafted album, and that's what I'm going to do with this, and I think that'll really be fun with all of the texture on there. And then the last piece was this mini album. This is where I used up everything that I had left over from the collection, except I thought I had used all of the die cuts. When I was done with creating this last project, I knew I had these two hearts left over. This was the only thing that I thought that I was walking away not having used, but I ended up finding these on my floor. They must have fell off my desk or got lost in the shuffle of something along the way, or else I would have used these on here somewhere. But these ended up being the only pieces for the whole entire Willemstad kit that I did not use. So I'm going to keep these and add them into my tray or into one of my drawers to make sure that those get used so that they don't end up sitting like everything else does. But for this, I grabbed some twine from my stash, and then also a small button that I added on some foam adhesive, so I just used that as my closure. Nothing fancy. The foam dot gives it that little ledge so that your twine can hold on to it. And this is a mini album about my boys and my dad. They do a garden every year here at home, and this year it grew twice in size because we tried so many new things, because we got to participate in a seed swap, so we got to try little bits of a lot of things that we've never tried before. So this was more or less documenting that story. It's just a real simple, it folds out. This was two pieces, one here and one here, of the cardstock that I had left over. I just doubled up the center just to attach them, and then just made it into a real easy accordion fold. Nothing fancy. It was more or less designed like this because that's the paper that I had left over. So I used up all of the die cuts that I had. I did add in little bits, like this tag was an LE Studio piece, as was these two. I had those in my stash, so I pulled those in because the colors matched perfectly with Paige's florals in here. I did have some scrap paper with this black and white flowers on it, so I did fussy cut a lot of those to tuck them in, just to give that a little bit more of a pop. Some green leaves. I did double ups on some photos. Tagged to add a little bit of journaling about them. I added some journaling here for this guy, and then just an overview of what the whole mini album was about. So that is the inside, and then on the back I do some more, adding in more layers, more tags. I love this little cluster. I think that turned out really good, and I like how this little cluster turned out too. So while I did use all of the paper and ephemera that was left, I did add in these tags, this date, my enamels. This heart was an add-in. These pieces were added, as were these tags here in this. So those were not included in the kit. Those I pulled from my stash, but this used up all of the other bits of that kit, with the exception of this, which I really thought, I was so proud. I thought that I had used every piece of ephemera until I cleaned my scrappy room, and then realized, well, poop. Found those two pieces of ephemera and those two stickers, but that's okay. We'll use those. So this whole entire kit, the base kit, I created one mini album, one page for my I forgot the name of that album already. One page for my smaller size album. You all know which ones I mean. Life Crafted, that's it. One page for my Life Crafted album. And then as far as layouts go, I created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So 8 layouts in total, a Life Crafted, and a mini. So that's 10 total projects for the whole entire Willemstad base kit. So this is how my mind tends to work. This is, even if I don't do a full start to finish series video like I did for this series in particular for this kit, this is how I typically stretch my kits, and how I break them down, and how my brain works when I see new kits and pieces and whatnot. So even though you may not see this from start to finish for every kit that I have, this is what I typically do. I have already broken down my next kit, which is, it has the Heidi Swapp, is it Heidi Swapp Suncatcher vibes? These are the ephemera for it. I have already pulled some of that out. It is another kit that's going to be my next series of videos. But yeah, that's how I break everything down. I don't necessarily show everything like that every single time. This one I did a dive in just so that you all can get an idea of how sometimes working with less can be more. And working with less product can generate more creativity, and for that, it definitely did that for me. Thank you everyone so much for joining me for this series. If you have any questions or comments, please enter them down below. Also, let me know how much you did or did not enjoy the series. If you'd like to see something like this in the future, I would be happy to do it again. The holidays are approaching quickly. Oh God, more quickly than what I thought. But I do have some other content coming up that I plan on doing as far as October daily prep. Likely an October daily series, but I probably won't do every single thing there. Same thing with Thankful 30 and Document December. So if you are not a follower over on my Instagram, please make sure that you do that there, because I will be posting here and there, so you'll get some different stuff both ways. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope this has inspired you, and I can't wait to see what you create with this kit, or if you try anything like this like I've done. Bye.